Alrighty guys, I'm back. Now, one of the most exciting things to talk about in the percussion family is a drum set. And good news, bad news on this one. Good news is that I have something that's a lot like a drum set. It's definitely more than I would probably have with me if we were in a classroom right now. We'd be listening to examples, looking at examples. Here we get to look up a little bit more closely. The bad news is it's not exactly a drum set, okay? So what we have here is an electronic drum set, okay? That means that it takes up a whole lot less room, it's a lot less loud, but it has all the same parts that we would have in a drum set. So the first one I want to show you is all the way down here. You're looking at it right here. I'm pointing to it with the drumstick. This is our bass drum, and it's not huge. On an actual drum set, it would be much bigger. Now, this is not something that you're going to hit with a drumstick. That would be kind of uncomfortable reaching down there. Instead, we have, you can see, this little mallet, and it's attached to a foot pedal. So when I want to play that, all I do is I step on this pedal, and it gives me a big, low sound, okay? As far as drums on here, right in front of me, this is the snare drum. This is the one that on a real drum set would be set up with those snares, those little metal pieces underneath. So that it kind of gives us that marching band sound. And then I have three other drums. I've got one here, and they all make very similar kind of big hollow sounds. As we play them from the left side to the right, they get a little bit lower sounding because the drums on an actual drum set, this one wouldn't be too big. This one would be a little bit bigger. So it's lower sounding, like we said last week. The bigger an instrument is, the lower the sound it's going to make. Now this one would be called a floor tom. I'll get out of your way so you can see it a little bit better. And this drum would go all the way down to the floor. Okay? Now the other thing you have on a drum set is cymbals. And usually you'd have at least 3 cymbals. That's what I have here. You could have more, you could get away with 2, but most drum sets are going to have 3 cymbals. The one all the way on my right here, this is called the ride cymbal. And a lot of times it's going to be used to just kind of keep a rhythm on. The one to the left of it, this one right here, this is called the crash cymbal. You're not going to play this a bunch of times in a row, but you kind of use it to basically make a big crash. A big, loud, kind of high-pitched noise. This one right here, this is called your hi-hat, and it looks really different on a big drum set. It's going to go all the way to the floor, and it's going to be attached to a foot pedal, which I know you guys can't see there. What happens with that is you can play this like a normal cymbal, or you can step on the foot pedal. And it kind of allows you to have a cymbal beat with that hi-hat and play something on top of it. Okay? Now, obviously, the trick of drum set is that originally in the orchestra, all these were separate drums. You'd have a few people with tom drums. You'd have somebody, probably a couple somebodies, with some big bass drums. A bunch of people with snare drums. And then a bunch of different kind of cymbals. And at some point in music history, we decided, why not give all that to one person, okay? And I'm going to play just a little bit of combining that. I'm also going to warn you, I am not the world's best drummer. I'm not even close to the world's best drummer. So we'll see what I can kind of come up with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a rhythm on the ride cymbal. And then I'm going to add the bass drum, and I'm going to put it on the strongest beats of our measure. I'm going to go on 1 and 3, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I put those together, this is what I end up with. Okay? Now, by itself, that's not going to be the most exciting thing in the world. So I'm going to take the snare drum and add a little bit of that on some of the emptier parts. Okay? And you could slow it down. You could try and speed it up. I'll see how that goes. Okay. And you can try and add some things kind of in between. We don't want to just do the same beat over and over and over again all day. That's what if you study how to play drum, what you'd kind of learn is how to make your drum beats very consistent, but also a little bit more interesting. So we might add a fill, something like this. All right, that's pretty much the extent of my drum skills, so I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope you guys learned a little bit about percussion. I'll see you next time. We're going to do woodwinds. Take it easy, guys. Bye.